to add it. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so loving. It's so good. It's been so secret and now admitted. But continuing, geoengineering, killing off the useless eaters. And it dovetails with this CNS report. Holdren uses free market to get back to the Stone Age. And he says that's what we want. We're going to destroy our industrial society. But that's not actually the full story. They admit, and this is what I've been telling you for more than 12 years since I discovered this information. Others knew it before I did. It's all out there and publicly available. The globalists going back 60 years said, we will freeze in the Western world, in the developing world, in the third world, we will freeze industrial development. The central banks will get everybody in debt. They will take over the free market. Then they will not allow loans to anyone who tries to further industrialize or develop sciences. Then all of those technologies, robotics, manufacturing, nanotech, healthcare, that will be delivered by this new corporate global government to universities and private corporations in armored reservations. Like the J.J. Pickle Center in North Austin, where they've got a nuclear reactor and all sorts of secret stuff, and the general public doesn't even know it. They've got these reservations everywhere, but that's a low-tech reservation compared to Los Alamos and other labs they've got and things like CERN. And so they will accelerate hyper-technology for the global corporations. They will freeze the development for the general public. They'll allow a few new little developments and roll them out slowly for profit-making. But under national security, they'll freeze everything else. They'll take control of web development through cybersecurity and freeze that. Any country that's not part of the New World Order system, there's only a handful of them now, will be attacked, will be economically attacked, physically attacked, militarily attacked. They won't be able to develop even 50, 60-year-old nuclear reactor technology for energy. They'll be frozen. They'll be bombarded. They'll have internal revolutions funded by the globalists. This is all stated. All stated. And they will develop, and have developed now, this goes back over 60 years, hyper-advanced technologies that are kept secret from the public. Now, I told you more than a decade ago, I was reading MIT reports and documents that were public, where they admitted they already had basically crystal balls. High-tech computer systems, they call them crystal balls. People laughed at me. Now, it's all over mainstream news. Google has crystal ball. They can predict mass movements over 99% of the time with pure accuracy. Individual movements 93% of the time, just off cell phone tracking. They've got algorithms. It's all jacked in. That's 30 years old. Believe me, right now, they can tell the future. Okay? Right now, they've got bioweapons and chemical weapons that will kill anybody comes in contact with them. They've got race-specific, individually down to your name and number in these giant government factory systems where in a matter of hours, they admit, with your blood sample, which they have everyone's blood sample if you're 39 years, it's now been 39 years or younger, they have your blood, worldwide program, now declassified. It's in a bioweapons lab. They've got these giant government-funded factories where they admit they can go in with these genetic engineer systems and create a, generally based on mousepox, bioweapon that will only kill you. That's a perfect assassination weapon. So, I mean, they've got it all, and that's why they're so arrogant, and they don't care if you know there's a world government. That's why they're coming out, yeah, we're chemtrailing you. That's why they're coming out going, yeah, 10-fold increase in convulsions and brain damage, and it's the vaccines, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. We're going to inject you with it. I mean, this is the hardcore reality, ladies and gentlemen. This is why they're so arrogant. And already, we've got the confirmed reports, even from the Forestry Service, all over the United States, all over Canada, all over Europe. People are unable to grow many crops now because there's so much aluminum in the soil. And that's just one factor of this. But don't worry, Monsanto's coming out with entire seed lines of plants that grow in aluminum. You start to figure this out, don't you? And who is the nation and Congress? It also has a report out. Who are they reporting? Of course, has XE Blackwater working for them? Monsanto. They got a plan. They've launched it. It's called scientific tyranny. And cops and FBI and all of you that love the system and are on petty power trips, bureaucrats, all of you. You better figure out you and your family are in the crosshairs. But you're not going to listen. You're going to get the flu shot. And a lot of you that get it, your child's going to have a convulsion, and then you'll be on the team. But you want to get hurt first, don't you?
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Gold. If you listen to the radio, watch TV, or surf the net, you are hearing about gold. Eventually you will ask yourself, is gold right for me? The answer might surprise you. We protect ourselves and our families from many things. Do you have medical insurance? Is your home insured? Do you carry life insurance? How about financial insurance? If you own gold, then the answer is yes. If you don't own gold, the question is, why don't you have financial insurance? We put our faith in things we trust. Do you trust the dollar? Do you trust the economy? Do you trust the government? Gold has always been something you can trust. For thousands of years, people have put their faith in gold. Where will you put your faith? Now is the time to protect yourself and your family. Call Midas Resources today at 1-800-686-2237, extension 242. 1-800-686-2237, extension 242. And ask for Jim Parker. Let me help you get started today. 1-800-686-2237, extension 242.
The economy is crumbling, debt soaring, and the possibility of World War III is increasing. I started SurvivalistSeeds.com from my dining room table with a small bucket of seed and a single rotating banner ad on PrisonPlanet.com. 2 years later, we've sold over 40,000 pounds of heirloom seeds, becoming the largest bulk seed seller to the public. The majority of our customers are Alex Jones listeners. Now I'm offering 50 all-organic garden varieties, 10,000 heirloom seeds, garden planter, and a CD teaching you how to save seeds so your children's children will always have healthy food. Don't wait until it's too late. I'm Big John Lipscomb, and my company is SurvivalistSeeds.com.
If you're in a service business, that's money ringing in your ears. If your phone's not ringing, chances are it's a problem with your marketing. Landscapers, painters, roofers, carpet cleaners, pet sitters, handymen. Anyone with a residential service business can build a huge and loyal customer base fast with the Magic Yellow Flyer. No more expensive newspaper, yellow pages, or internet pay-per-click ads. The Magic Yellow Flyer will have new customers calling you within 1 week. The Magic Yellow Flyer marketing system is the most effective and inexpensive way to build a referral-only service business in a short period of time. And the Magic Yellow Flyer comes with an outrageous 1-year guarantee. You will get new customers or your money back. For details, go to MagicYellowFlyer.com. No matter what business you're in, the Magic Yellow Flyer marketing system will work for you. Visit MagicYellowFlyer.com. Put the Magic Yellow Flyer to work for you today. Visit MagicYellowFlyer.com.
To wake up. I'm talking about myself included. We need to face just how real this scientific dictatorship, this global corporate crime syndicate is. If we don't man up and really get real and make fighting this system and waking others up our main focus, we're going to lose. I like going to the movies or going and watching a UFC fight as much as the next person. But every time I do, I feel guilty afterwards. But we're designed to have some enjoyment. We're designed to enjoy some leisure. But we're way out of balance. We're obsessed with entertainment. We're obsessed with satiating ourselves. We're not focused, myself included, like we should be against a threat this real. We have true, bona fide, grade A, hardcore, supercharged despotism sitting on our backs, and we've got to get it off our backs. And it can be defeated, because even if you've got evil people working for this corrupt system, you can explain to them that, hey, I know you're on a power trip being compartmentalized within the structure and having some power, but you are being targeted by this system as well. And this is leading us very quickly to a nightmare prison planet. Now, I want to shift gears into the attacks on free speech and the First Amendment. We talked about it yesterday, how in Ohio, multiple towns and cities are saying no Tea Party demonstrations allowed because the state is basically saying they're hate groups. Lawsuits have been filed. Supreme Court Justice Breyer is on ABC News saying we may ban burning Korans because that's not a free speech right, which is asinine. We have just got massive reports along these lines pouring out. But then, a few days ago, we saw some local news articles on this and wrote a story about it. Now we discovered and confirmed what Wayne Madsen said. It turned out it was all over the newspapers in Pennsylvania. Breaking yesterday, Pennsylvania Homeland Security employed Israeli company to suppress American political speech. And this group is definitely Mossad Shin Bet. They get funds from the federal and state governments all over the country. In just 1 year, they got 125,000. It turns out they're not a nonprofit like the media said. And it was to spy on anti-gas drilling groups, environmental groups, Tea Parties. It first broke because this group put out reports demonizing Tea Parties and demonizing anyone that wants tax cuts. The quotes in the newspapers were that by saying you don't want taxes, that threatens government infrastructure because, God forbid, citizens get involved in government, as we're supposed to here on Constitution Day, 220-plus years after the signing of the Constitution, the ratification of the Constitution. Heaven forbid that citizens actually be involved in their government and get taxes cut. So it started there, but now it turns out they were at the G20 in Pittsburgh and that they were spying on the activist groups. We saw private groups, this is admitted, driving around, grabbing citizens off the streets for no reason, throwing them into cars. Rob Dew was arrested. He was at a military armory with police and military and saw people being brought off the backs of trucks and vans with bags on their heads. Luke Radowski was arrested. So my crew has been in the middle of this. And it turns out that and this is covered in Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA, that Rob Dew and the guys, I sent them to the military base at the start of the G20, or the night before it started, because they had a press release out saying that the National Guard would be used against citizens, and it had the name of the public information officer. So they pull up politely and say, hi, we're here. With Alex Jones, we're here to find out what's going on, what the military is going to do. We'd like to interview your public information officer. And they said, stay here. 20 minutes later, they came back and they said, we're not going to talk to you. Get out of here. They got me on the phone. I talked to the guy. It's all on video in the film. And he just said, no, you're not real media. Get out of here. And so the guys peacefully drove away. And then the police came and called him and said, you're a terrorist. You're going to be in a terror database the rest of your life. And that's the end of it. You don't protest in America. You don't go to a military base and ask to speak to the public information officer who was saying, media, come talk to me if you have questions. And it turns out an Israeli company was intimately involved in all of this. And so is this not high treason? I mean, I know Israel's supposed to be our little ally in all of this, but I have a question for everybody. Our government's been taken over by private corporations. Blackwater's being used domestically, now XE. If you had a Chinese company hired coast to coast to spy on citizens and to list Tea Party people as terrorists, would that be a big deal? Is Glenn Beck going to talk about an Israeli company spying on the Tea Party? Don't hold your breath. But we are going to cover it. Pennsylvania Homeland Security employed Israeli company to suppress American political speech. They're now being sued by multiple groups. That's all coming up on the other side. Israeli secret police in America.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.